Hello everybody, welcome to the Kettlebell Gym. In today's workout, we're gonna practice the three primary kettlebell movements, the swing, clean, and snatch, using a technique called contrast training that will really help you develop your technique in these exercises. For this workout, you want 3 to 4 medium to heavy weight kettlebells. Find somewhere nice to train, get warmed up, and let's get started. We're going to begin our workout today with a little bit of body weight mobilization that will really aid us when we get going with the kettlebells. So what we're going to do here is a backwards stepping lunge, and then coming out of that lunge directly into a one-legged toe touch. And then we're going to switch legs with each rep. And we're going to get a total of 20 of that combination. So 10 and 10. So moving slowly. This will actually take a little bit of time. It doesn't sound like a lot of reps, but it's a slower movement. And of course, we're combining 2 exercises in one. So it's a backstepping lunge to one leg toe touch. And then both feet back onto the ground, long stride back. Lunge to one-legged toe touch. And just switch legs with every single rep. Nice long stride back, and then balancing on the leg that was in the front, trying to do your best not to fall over. And then switching, long stride back, up to balance. One leg toe touch. Try not to lose count, and I recommend that you guys don't keep count with me, because as I talk, I oftentimes lose count and then I end up doing more. So there's a good chance I'll go over in each one of these. But this, if I'm counting correctly so far, is 3 and 3 of 10 and 10. Trying to keep that back flat when you come down for the toe touch. You don't actually have to touch your toe. It's just the name of the exercise. It's just about coming down with a flat back, hip hinge. Back stepping lunge to one-legged toe touch. Nice and deep, but trying to stay balanced at the same time. And there is number 5. And coming up, number 5 again. So this puts us halfway through this set. Nothing too extreme, nothing too excessive. We're also getting some balance going on. And also we're working the legs one at a time to make sure there's no compensations going on from side to side. Back stepping lunge to one-legged toe touch. Coming up to 7 here, and 7 of 10 and 10. Switching legs with each one to really stop that muscle fatigue from kicking in, especially in the little muscles. They get fatigued from doing a lot of balancing in your ankles, calves. So there's 9 and 9. Wrapping this up here, 10. Back stepping lunge to one-legged toe touch, and 10. Back stepping lunge to one-legged toe touch. Good job, you guys. If you're ready to move on, well, so you can finish up your set if you're still working on them. So keeping your own rep count, not working with me. And with balance exercises, of course, that time that you're taking can vary greatly depending upon if you're falling over or not. So take your time, finish up your set if you're not ready yet. So moving on, we're going to get into a military press using what I would consider for myself to be a medium weight kettlebell. So look for the same weight, whatever that means for you. And with this military press, what we're looking for is a low enough rep count to where we're just starting to understand and feel the movement and loosening up into the movement, but before fatigue sets in. So we're going to shoot for a rep count here of 5 and 5, and we'll do 2 sets of 5 and 5 before we progress, okay? So this is my medium weight kettlebell. 1 clean to the rack just for transportation, nice and tight, and press. And this is just sort of preparation for lifting overhead as we progress through the workout. Last one. And then a swing switch. And 5 more. Okay, so let's do this again. We're going to go 2 times around this military press, 5 and 5. And you can set the bell here if you need to. If you're ready, on the other hand, let's just go for 5 and 5. Not rushing anything here, just trying to feel the movement happen. And it should start to feel almost more fluid as you go. 5 more. Okay, and there we go. So set the bell safely when you're done. Good job, you guys. So it's time to progress. We're going to make things more difficult. We're now going to move into our kettlebell swing. And what we're going to do is use one of these heavier bells to up-regulate the recruitment of motor units in specifically this bending movement using a deadlift. And we're going to go through 5 reps of a deadlift. Then we're going to put 1 bell down. We're going to do a dual bell deadlift, I should say. We're going to put 1 bell down and then move directly into a kettlebell swing, okay? So for our first set here, I'm going to swing the medium bell that I just used for the military press. And I'm going to use as an anchor weight with the deadlift for contrast a bell that's slightly heavier. It's 2 bells up, 8 kilos heavier. So this is a 53 into 70, the 70 what I would consider to be the upper range of medium weight, okay? So I have 2 bells. I'm going to perform 5 deadlifts and then put the 70 down and move directly into 5 swings with the 53. And you guys can just choose the weight that's right for you for the swing and the anchor. There's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I'm going to back away from that bigger bell. And I'm going to place that down. Now, this lighter bell, I'm going to move off to the side. I'm going to put it back out of the way. I've just developed that sensation for contrast. And when I went from that deadlift into this swing, in fact, let me get it further out of the way, it felt extremely light, which is what I was looking for. So the contrast did the job it was supposed to do. And now that means it's time for me to move up using a heavier anchor this time. And I'll be swinging the bell that I was just using as the anchor, which is the 70, okay? So again, you guys can choose the weights, and this is really based upon what you're experiencing through the training. So if it still felt heavy to you, the bell that you were just swinging, do another set with that particular deadlift swing combination, okay? So here we go. I'm gonna go for 5 and 5 again. What we're going to do is we're going to get through a total of 3 sets with this swing. There's 5 deadlifts, putting those bells down, backing away. And very nice. And again, that's a much heavier weight. But using that deadlift in contrast, moving into that swing, it felt very similar to how the 53 felt on the previous set. I'm going to put this next to its friend. Using this one here, that was just my anchor, now is my swing weight. This is 40 kilos. And I'll use a 48 kilo as the anchor. So this is where the 4th bell comes in. Now, if you don't have a 4th bell, you can also use a dumbbell or a barbell as an anchor throughout any of this training or for contrast. So if you load up a barbell, you can feel free to use that. So again, 5 and 5. 5 deadlifts, 5 swings. And there's 5 swings. And there it is. Good job, you guys. If you're keeping up, I'm trying not to kill the pace or work at a pace that's too extremely fast at this point in the workout. We really want to be able to focus on the muscle, on the recruitment, and how that will assist with the technique that we're creating. So that deadlift obviously having tremendous carryover into the swing and moving from heavy to light, giving us a wonderful opportunity to go from strength phase into power phase with almost seamless interruption, okay? Before we move on to our second movement of the day, the clean, we need to get this kettlebell up overhead a few more times, okay? So let's get the light or medium kettlebell, the lightest kettlebell that we've had, and we're gonna do just 5 and 5 military press. We don't need to do 2 sets how we started off with. What we're looking for here is just a reminder to our nervous system of that weight overhead, so that when we do lift overhead, later on, it's not a shock. Nice and tight, and just press through. Back to the rack. And there it is. So a little swing switch. job, you guys. Okay, set that bell safely. Moving on. We're going to get into cleans in the same way that we did our swings, you guys. So getting those bells set up for deadlifts. I have a medium, right smack dab in the middle of medium weight. Then I have my medium heavy bell. For me, that means 24 kilos or 53 pounds and a 32 kilo or 70 pounds, which the 70 pounds will be the anchor bell, and the 24 kilo, 53 pound will be the bell that we're going to clean, or I'm going to clean, okay? So for this, 5 deadlifts, 5 dead cleans, and for this particular exercise, we're going to stay consecutive on those cleans with one hand, and then we'll break, switch, and do the other side. If you guys are ready, 5 deadlifts, 5 cleans. That deadlift feeling nice and easy. And then there's 5 and right up. So I just get the first clean out of the way, and then I step away from that anchor bell. And there we're doing 4 and 5. Good job, you guys. Set that down. Does that carry over? Do you feel how this makes sense? The heavy weight, upregulating the recruitment of motor units in the glutes and hamstrings with that deadlift, and making that clean or the swing previous to this float. It just should make sense. It should help to prevent you from using too much upper body with these lifts, and also, therefore, help to prevent wrist banging and other such issues that you might have with poor technique when you're doing these. So, switching hands, 5 deadlifts, 5 cleans. And I'm sticking with the same weight for now. I'm going to stay even with my hands. And there's 5 and up. And that bell just floats, doesn't it? It's just like after you put that heavy bell down and you go to do the same movement, the clean just occurs. And there's 5. And it almost happens so easily, in fact, that you can start to move quickly, and then you feel the heart rate starting to play a factor, and it's no longer a question of technique anymore because the technique is making itself happen. Here we go, moving away the lightest of my kettlebells off to the side, going to the medium heavy for the clean weight, and something that I would consider, oops, I got the wrong one here, something I'd consider sort of maybe on the lower side of heavy is the 40 kilogram anchor. And really this is so relative, and you guys will choose the weights based upon your own experience and everything else. To give you an idea too, I'm trying to think, this is about 40%. My anchor weight is about 40% of my body weight, if that helps also. Okay, moving on. 5 and 5. Contrast cleans. 5 deadlifts, 5 cleans. Quick pause, and we'll switch and do the other side. Here we go. Now the deadlift's starting to feel a little bit heavier. Still quite doable. But you can start to feel it as a real deadlift here. And then up with that clean. Stepping away and up. And yeah, it just floats. It just floats right up for those cleans. And let me switch those bells around. And we're going to do this again. So again, here we'll do 3 sets of this contrast clean. This being our second set. Each set consisting of 5 deadlifts and 5 cleans per hand, okay? Obviously the deadlifts aren't per hand, but the clean is. So, moving on. Finishing off our second round of 3 on these cleans. I've got a medium heavy bell, or I should say a heavy medium bell, and a low heavy bell. 5 deadlifts. And there's 5. Put 1 down and straight up. Stepping away. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'll just place that bell off to the side as I switch these bells around one more time for this exercise, the clean. And now what we have is something that I would consider to be right smack dab heavy, and then something on the lighter side of the heavy range that I will be lifting. 5 and 5 deadlifts and cleans to finish off this round, the second round, before we move on to the snatch. 5 and 5, and then we're going to take a breather, and then we'll do the other side. Here we go. So there's 5, and up. And there it is, there's 5. Good job, you guys. Stay with me as much as you can. Better switch these bells around. And like I said, stay with me as much as you can. The pace at which you work, especially with an exercise or workout like this, is going to be very, very personal, because it's based upon your experience with kettlebells. It's based upon your personal ability. And it's also based upon the weights that you selected today to train with. So all of those things can slow you down or speed you up in your workout. And you can feel free, of course, to pause, fast forward, or rewind at your discretion. What's really the most important thing here is that we develop this fundamental understanding of these techniques by using contrast, because this is a powerful weapon, not just to improve your technique, but also, if you think you already have great technique, to take you to and above your potential, or what you thought your potential was. So here's 5 and 5. Deadlifts and cleans, final round, here we go. And up, there's 5. Well done, you guys. There's that contrast clean out of the way. Our final round coming up is the snatch, which by nature is going to be much more challenging. Select your weights carefully. And before you begin this round, shake it off. Get something to drink if your muscles are a little bit burning, your heart rate is a little bit high. Just take a couple of minutes to recover, but not too long. Okay, don't let anything cool down. Just a moment or two to catch your breath and grab a drink before we move into our third, final, and most challenging round of this workout. I've quickly done 2 things. One is to include an additional even heavier kettlebell into my workout today as an anchor weight, because we're moving into a snatch that requires more range of motion, obviously, than the clean. So what I'm going to do with each progression of this, each weight progression with the snatch, I'm going to be using a proportionately heavier weight than I was using for contrast during the swing and the clean. So here I'm starting off with a 53-pound snatch, and previously I had a 70-pound anchor weight, whereas now I'm going to be using the 40 kilo or 88 pounds as the anchor weight. So I've given myself the potential of moving up to 124 pounds here as an anchor weight for this particular final round. We're going to go 3 rounds of contrast with these snatches, 5 and 5 on each hand, of course with 5 deadlifts beforehand. Starting off with the same weight that we started each and every round thus far, and something that we've already taken overhead with the military press. 5 deadlifts, 5 dead snatches. Here we go. There's 5, down and right up, stepping away, half snatch to the rack, down and up. And there's 5, setting it safely and moving it to the other side of this belt. You guys, make this workout your own, okay? This is your own unique learning experience. And especially with a workout like this that is really geared towards learning and developing these fine techniques, you want to personalize it and make it as much of a customized experience as possible. What I mean is adjust the weight as need be, even adjust the rep count as need be. If you start to lose the sensation of contrast on the 3rd snatch and then deteriorate on the 4th and 5th, maybe you do fewer deadlifts and fewer snatches, 4 and 4, for example. Here we go. There's 5, and all the way up. Half snatch to the rack. 2. 3, 4, 5. And I tell you, I do feel, and we're done with this bell unless you guys want to stick with it, I do feel a deterioration in the sensation of contrast towards the 4th and 5th snatch. I don't know if you guys feel the same thing, but certainly not enough to where my form is deteriorating. But the 1st and 2nd one really just pop right up in the air. I hope you're feeling something similar to that. So, moving on. I will come back to this bell. But for now, I'm going to move both the snatch weight and the anchor weight up. And here we go. So, I'm using here a 70-pound for my snatch, and 104 as the anchor. Sort of what I consider to be upper reaches of medium and sort of right smack dab in the middle of heavy. The same rep count, unless, like I said, if it's getting a little fatiguing towards the end and you don't want to drop the intensity, in other words, lower the weight, then you can lower the volume and do a few less reps. 4 and 4 works really well for contrast too, okay? And really do make it your own based upon the weights that you're using in your own experience. Here we go. Oh yeah, that's nice and heavy. And right up. Very nice. That felt great. The contrast on that one set me up for great success on the snatch. And I did not feel the deterioration as I had felt previously. Heart rate got up though, I'll tell you that much. So, we're about halfway through our third round. We've done a total of 15 snatches and 15 deadlifts, about the same to go. But we are incrementally increasing the intensity. And that will slow us down a little bit, because cardiovascular endurance will also play a factor. Move that one out of the way just a little bit. Give myself some space. Here we go. 4, 5, and 5. Deadlift to snatch. And there's 5, and up, stepping away, half snatch to the rack, 2, and there's 5, and 5. With this, our medium heavy snatch contrast. That's round 2 of 3 in the bag. So let me think here. This one moves over here, and this becomes the snatch weight, which means I'm going to need more contrast than the 106. And we move from a 32 to a 40 kilogram, 88-pound bell for the dead snatch, and 40 or 56 kilos, 124 for the anchor. Make sure to give yourself plenty of space and take your time to recover in between sets. Okay guys, I just chalked up really fast with this particular exercise. You might want to think about doing that. That was one more change I made before going into the snatch. And here we have it. I'm going to use my heavy bell here as an anchor. I've got my 88-pound bell I'm going to be snatching. 5 and 5. Here we go. Nice and heavy deadlift. It's going to provide a really nice anchor weight for this full range of motion movement. 3, 4, and 5. And up. Now I'm going to back away, trying to slip and slide in my own sweat. And up. And there's 5. Oh, that felt good. The anchor just really giving me what I need to hit this heavy weight. Now, I'll be honest, this is not my heaviest snatch weight that I can lift, but after going through a nice long workout like this, you're not trying to get to the 1 rep max or anything close to that. However, that said, if you want to do that low rep training, contrast is a great way to get recruited up to that potential in weight. Here we go. 5 and 5. Or whatever rep count you like. Let's wrap this workout up. Here we go. I'm just gonna get some room. There's one. Don't want to take too long. 2, 3, 4, and all the way up. Number 5. To the rack, to the ground. Holy smokes. That was intense. This is a great way. I hope you guys like this style, this contrast training. It provides you with such a unique opportunity to learn these basic techniques. And from here, you will progress to whatever level you want. You master these basics, and the contrast will help you along the way. Thank you for joining me today, you guys. I'll see you next time in the kettlebell gym.